Hi everyone, welcome to the PlayStation Access podcast, where we're back and better than ever in an episode all about video game remakes. And yes, this is just an excuse to talk about Dead Space. You're welcome. Join us for a chat about what makes a great remake, a new and improved comments of the week jingle, and some bin appreciation. Here we go. Hello everybody and welcome to the PlayStation Access podcast, the official podcast of PlayStation UK, where this episode we're going to be talking about video game remakes, which might come as a surprise to some of you because I know you haven't read my notes.
Yes, I was really excited to hear you do the intro. I was like, oh, are we? Okay. All right then, let me get thinking.
Yeah.
I was immediately like, hey, this is my forte, I'm loving this.
It's a solid ground for talking, and it comes off the back of Dead Space coming out. Juicy, gory Dead Space, so we get to talk about that a lot as well. But before we get there, we're going to introduce everybody on the podcast. Now, every week I come up with a little punny name for everyone that's like funny, but a pun. Huh?
Very good.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
You are a true pro.
I went to Puniversity.
Oh, it doesn't work, Ash. It doesn't work. You let it go.
I went to Puniversity. So, anyway, everybody's names. Based on remakes, my thinking for this, I was thinking, what can I do for remakes? What kind of vibe can I go down? And it means that, I'm Ash, this is Rob, you're Dave, and you're Rosie. Because remakes, they just use the name again.
Good. Well, couldn't I be like Dave Remastered or something? Right.
Now, moving on. No, there's some of them are like rehydrated. So you can be Dave Rehydrated if you want to be the SpongeBob one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And do you know, it's taken me years to learn how important hydration is as well. And
there you go.
If anyone's listening out there, drink water. Drink water. It's really good for you. Makes you feel better. It's taken me years to learn this. I still don't drink enough of it. It's fantastic, that stuff.
Yeah.
Love a bit of water.
I've seen, have you ever seen Dave drinking water?
Yeah, he gulps.
He's able to do it and not stop. He's like a bottomless pit. I've seen him literally drinking an entire 2 litre just.
It's because it's so important. It's because I really respect what it's doing for me.
After like 4 or 5 gulps,
yeah.
like my body is telling me no more.
I don't
no
have
more.
That. Yeah,
just stop for now.
Do you ever do that thing where you squish your belly in and out? It goes with all the water in it.
Yeah,
don't know
the
what that
water,
is.
the gurgly belly.
Yeah,
when you've drunken loads of water.
You were on board with it.
And you've
know
never
it as
had
well.
the gurgly belly.
No.
You've drunk loads of water and you move and you hear the gloop, gloop.
It's like sloshes
It's
around.
like I'm a bottle. Rosie,
Yes.
have you heard this?
My tummy's just always gurgly, so...
Yeah, Rosie's
but not-
tummy never
I
has
have-
got
I have
not
like a
gurgly
very verbal
as in
tummy.
gurgling, but like you actually
Sloshing.
move. You slosh
you
and you can
slosh.
If you
hear
do a proper
like,
belly
the water
dance.
slosh inside.
No.
Anyway,
Maybe I drink so much water that there's no room for sloshing.
That actually could be true. Anyway, I thought just saying our names would make this a faster introduction. It did not.
We slowed it
no.
down.
Yeah.
Can I be Rob the director's cat?
You can be Rob the Director's Cut.
Thank
And
you.
Rosie, you can be the Rosie Insane trilogy. There you go.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that.
That's very appropriate.
Yeah, and I'll be Ash, and I'll live up to my titling feature.
You could be Ash Reignited trilogy, because that's like fire, and Ash is a result of fire.
It's true.
So-
Ash Reignited. That
Ash.
means she's a light again.
Ash Royal Edition.
Yeah. It's all of these work. All of these work. Anyway, so this week we're going to be talking about video game remakes, like our favourites and stuff we'd love to see in the remake realm. We're then going to move on to comments of the week, which are community highlights from the...
Pod Squad.
Pod Squad!
I just wanted to give a little break to see if you feel
You
the
made
gap.
me panic.
Hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
There we go.
No, it's I didn't panic.
Yeah.
I was cool.
Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to go to Before We Go for some coverage outside of gaming that makes us real live flesh people. But first, it's the question. It's the weekly question. What's new? Okay, we're in the What's New section, and I should have remastered that intro. That would have been a classic, sort of way of approaching this podcast. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the remastered version would be, though. This is new.
I'll tell you what we can remaster later on is the comments of the week
Oh,
jingle.
God,
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, I've
promise
already
that.
got a plan for it.
Okay.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
a plan, we got a plan.
Don't worry, she writes her plans down,
Okay,
which you'd
nice.
know if you read her notes. So
They're your notes, to be fair.
So, what's what's new this week? Now, we are in the midst of a lovely little marketing beat from PlayStation, which is live from PS5.
Yeah.
And it is so cool.
That was
It's so
amazing.
cool.
It was so cool.
So it's like a bit of a TV segment at the moment where it's loads of live broadcasts of like newscasters on a PlayStation 5, which I really like as the touch, like the tables of PlayStation 5. And then they throw out to people around the world who are going through PS5 game induced catastrophes or exciting moments. So Spider-Man is in Manhattan and God of War, Kratos and Atreus are skating through on their sleds with someone wrapped up in loads of scarves. There's loads of different bits. And this is now broken out into the real world where London has the Leviathan axe embedded in the road,
In
which
the South Bank.
looks so cool.
I
It's
saw
so
that
cool.
all over Twitter yesterday. It was
Yeah.
it looked amazing. And then I saw a photo of someone standing next to it.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
massive.
huge.
Yeah.
It's like
So big.
20 feet long.
Well, there's like a PlayStation themed news van.
Yes.
there, which is what.
And there's police tape, but
Yeah.
it's got the PS5 logo on it.
and it's like brought up the pavement, and you can see like a glowing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
magicy, icy glow from beneath.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Oh.
actual water from London, and because it's so cold, it's just iced up.
It's just frozen.
I don't think the water in
London
London
right
looks like
now
that.
are like,
It's not
wow.
that, not that colour. No, it's way too clean for London.
London
Well
has
done.
magic water.
Well,
Yeah.
whoever came up with that, well done. 'cause
I really want to
it's
go and
very
see
good.
it. I just want to see the size of it more
I
than
wanna
anything.
see
I
it.
love
Yeah.
that, like, they've made it massive.
I tell you what else I've been seeing on the realms of social media. I saw Elle in front of the axe on her stories, on her Instagram stories, with a little live from PS5 tags.
Oh,
yeah,
no
I
way.
saw that. Yeah.
maybe we'll see something from her as well, which would be really cool.
Oh,
So,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, she was a huge fan of the God of War series, and
She made a whole video about the act.
about the
Yeah.
axe, yeah. And I went with her to Spain. A little name drop there to interview Corey Barlow.
Name
sorry,
drop
the
of the
name
country.
drop of Spain.
Yeah. Don't know if you guys have heard of it.
little not
Yeah.
well
Anyone
known.
from
That's
Spain
right.
listening?
Hey, big up Spain. Should I say hola? But yes, and to interview Corey Barlow. So yeah, Elle is a big God of War fan, so I can imagine she got down to the South Bank very quickly to
Yes.
have a look at the Leviathan axe.
Oh, it looks really cool, and I'm excited to see what else comes from it. If there's anything other bits coming on, because they say
Yeah.
it's going to leave very soon as well. So who's going to go somewhere else? I don't know. I just love it. I think it's a really cool beat, and like the whole little campaign as well is to announce that there's more PS5 stock, so people can get their hands on PS5s, which is
They're
really
everywhere.
exciting.
Join us. Join us.
I'd love it if it was like picked up by a helicopter or something, and they put it on a spinning, just something that span, so they like went through the sky as if it was spinning in the air.
That
Can we
would
send
be
an email?
ambitious.
Yeah.
That would be very
Imagine
ambitious.
that, though.
And then when it's gone, it's literally going to be summoned through the sky,
Yeah.
spinning and revolving like Kratos is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, and if they
summoning.
could summon a storm, can we get onto PlayStation about this? Should we send an email?
Yeah.
See, like,
I think we should get it like just
I think-
embedded in the side of the office. Like I
Just
think
have it in here.
Yeah.
Just there.
we'll ask.
Yeah. But yes, on from giant weapons that we may or may not want embedded in the office. There's also some new games out this week, which I just thought I would mention because Power Wash Simulator is one of them, which is causing a big old storm of cleanliness across the land.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
I love watching power wash videos on social media.
Yeah.
Like they're just so
Just made me
the
laugh.
car ones. You've seen just first they do the coat of the lovely foamy shampoo with the power washer. There's like an
Yeah.
attachment, and then it's the actual power washing bit, and it's so satisfying.
You said that like a Power Wash commentator then. And then it's the power. Here we go. The bit we've all been waiting for.
It's
Yeah.
so satisfying. Just like how it just slices through all the
adjustment
dirt.
of the nozzle there.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that in Power Wash Simulator. You can adjust as many nozzles as you like because
Really?
there's loads of different
I'll do it.
attachments.
I'll do it, and I'll commentate
I'll do
on you
it.
doing it. Oh no, I'll be the commentator. I'll be
Okay.
the Power Wash Simulator commentator.
Be careful what you wish for.
In
'Cause we
fact,
can make
this
this
might
happen.
have already happened
Yeah.
in the stream 2
If we
days
did
ago.
this in a stream, this was the inception
Yeah.
right here. This is the moment.
And if you don't see that, we decided it was a terrible idea.
Don't you think though, like Power Wash Simulator, fantastic, but then Power Wash Simulator where you're washing Croft Manor.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm excited
Yes.
for.
And did I see Midgar as well? There's also going to
Uh-huh.
be a bit of free DLC. It seems like an interesting thing. I don't know that many other simulators are doing this kind of thing. I love this game crossover. It's so smart. You could do Train Simulator. You could drive the trains in Midgar.
Oh my god.
Imagine
great
that.
idea. That would
Imagine
be
like you're
amazing.
doing it, but then you hear the thud of when like cloud lands on the roof of it. So whilst you're
that'd be
driving
good.
the train,
I
when you
think
get to the certain
that's
point
a
in the
bit
room,
too exciting. Like with a plane train simulator,
down.
I want to just be doing what they're actually doing, and I want to go past Barnstable and Crewkern and Burnham-on-Crouch. I don't want to be going through Midgar.
England,
Really.
there's so many stupid names for
Yeah.
places. Sorry if you're from Burnham-on-Crouch, but like,
Yeah.
they all sound so weird. Like every time we talk about little English towns,
Have you seen the Map Men video? That
the Map Men? No, I haven't seen the
Map Men is
video.
amazing, by the way. I will not hear anything bad
It just
said about
sounds
Map
like
Men. But
something like that you would really like. Some men with maps. That's
Yeah.
why I'm
it's
laughing.
really funny, and
Yeah.
it does a really good explanation of the
Maps.
weirdness of UK place names. It's great.
Well, what can I say? I'm going to have to watch some Map Men videos
Yes, do
and get that ingested. But yeah, we've got the Lara Croft Tomb Raider manor in there, which is very cool. Midgar in there. I keep thinking about Goat Simulator, and if you would be able to be a goat in Elden Ring, you know, the ones that spin.
Yeah,
and then
that's
just
cool.
trying to stay alive in Elden Ring as a goat, I think would
Yeah.
be great.
that'd be terrifying. You just turn around, there's like a tarnish just running at you, like "Meh," like
Yeah.
just fully legging it the whole time, rolling down the hill.
You're trying to fight a boss, like, oh no. Anyway, that's just a little personal dream. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake has also come out, which is good old SpongeBob fun. Loads of jelly to collect in that game. There's loads of different costumes you can put on, and it takes you through all of the different, like, sorry, I'm shaking you when I do that. Shaking Rob about Cosmic Shake. You have loads of different costumes you put on that kind of reference different SpongeBob bits. And I'm mentioning it because I've been watching I edited the store video this week, everyone. Cheer is
She
allowed.
did.
Oh my God, she's
Ash,
dropping.
Ash,
I dropped
Ash.
Spain, you dropped the store video.
Yeah, the most important S's, Spain and store. And yes, I've been watching that trailer of just SpongeBob singing Sweet Victory for ages and just remembering how funny the cartoon was. So
Yeah.
it was so good. And
Also-
Sweet Victory is like the little collector's edition thing as well.
I was going to say, we also seem to now have like a not insubstantial inflatable Patrick.
Yeah, he's really
in the
fun to
office.
punch.
We
Really?
do.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We
good.
do. Yeah, I was doing a meeting the other week whilst he was being inflated aggressively.
For God's sake. By who?
Who do you think?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
The poor people who were remoting in.
Right.
Just
yeah.
Patrick just.
It was good. And now he lives on the desk now.
He does.
But also, just to have a little roundup of the What's New section, Rosie, you've been to see Like a Dragon Ishin, and Rob, you've been to see Hogwarts. So I
Yes.
figured it would be nice to talk about those as well as a little roundup before we move on to our remake section.
God, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm like, yes, Like a Dragon Ishin. I've played it. I played a little segment of it, and I'm incredibly happy. And I can't wait for the full game to come out because I really want to play it now.
Oh, Rosie's speed is like upped by
I
25%.
know. I'm very excited about Like a Dragon Ishin. Honestly,
You've made a video that's on the channel right now. If
Yep.
you want to hear more about Rosie's thoughts.
There's
I had
the
the
plug.
I had the phase where I was like trying to think of a good title, you know, something that would really make people watch. And the whole time I was just thinking, but everyone just needs to play this game. but people should just play this game. So I was like, right, okay, it's just why you must play
Which
it.
is why the video is called "Shut Up and Play." This
if I could have it my way, it would just be like, please play Like a Dragon Ishin.
Please.
Oh.
Please, kind regards, Rosie. Like, there you go, at the end of the title there.
I feel like, Rosie, you've been through enough to make that happen as well. Like with being in Berlin, Rosie was in Berlin for a few days for it, and it's just, you just need to watch the video because she's been in Berlin.
Had a full on, doing the video after the big trip when we were chatting about it. I was fully like adrenaline of the excitement and just, you know, travel tiredness. I was
Yeah.
fully just like, let me do it.
The video was the most stressful video I've ever made because I was just like, because like, it was just like words coming at me about like Japan. I was like, oh God, it sounds really interesting. Oh God, another fact's come. Like, it was really good.
It really was. And on the trip as well, we got given a tour. So we actually played our little preview in a samurai museum in Berlin. And so that was really cool. And then we got a little tour by a guy who was actually like a trained samurai as well. And he also studied like the history of Japan. So he was telling us all these facts and about how the game actually is realistic in some regard. And then at the end, they gave us a little demonstration of like an actual samurai fight, which I recorded on my
Wow.
phone.
That's very cool.
Yeah, like every time there was like two of them, and I've never, you know, if someone shouts, sometimes it's startling, but I've never been this startled by people just shouting and the foot going boom. boom, like down on the floor. It was honestly like all of us were just, you felt it in your chest. You're like, oh my God. But it was also so thrilling seeing them like, you know, like doing the battle, and then they like pause for a bit, and then you just hear their little feet be like, or something, and then like that's when they get a bit closer, but then they back off, and there's like, ah! And then they just like slam it down, and then that was with the wooden swords, and then at the end he did
They
like
got out the real one.
Yeah.
he got out his real blade to show how you then like the ritual of putting it away and getting it ready and stuff. So, and that was a beautiful thing to see.
Blimey.
So
Rosie took a video, but you didn't show it me. I
I can show it you if you want.
It's too late. I heard it from across the room, and all I heard was Yahoo! Like, and I wasn't sure if that was you cheering or if that was them.
That was them just going like, ah! Like full on screaming. I'll show you after the podcast.
And maybe it was a different video. I was like, oh, well, Rosie's showing the samurai video, is she? When I was hearing Yahoo! Across the room. Oh, but yeah, Rob, you literally went to Platform 9 3/4, didn't you?
No.
No, not at King's Cross.
Okay, you didn't go to Platform 9 3/4, did you?
I went to Leavesden Studios,
Yeah.
where they had the Harry Potter studio tour, and I sat next to the Hogwarts Express. And
Is it proper
Train simulator?
full-size- Hey, we're back. Is it a proper full-size train?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the model of it that they use for the platform bit. I think for the filming they use the actual Jacobite, which still runs along that train line through
that's
Scotland. So, but this one is like, yeah. And you can go inside as well, which I did. But anyway, the real reason I went there was to get hands on with Hogwarts Legacy, and I played it for 1 hour. And the video of what I thought of it is also on the channel right now, if you're interested in seeing that.
We're prescribing lots of homework this podcast.
And you got a wand.
I did.
Yeah, you've been wielding it
And I
all
haven't
week.
stopped just waving it around the office all week.
Oh my God, like Rob went into a little feedback meeting with me for some article review stuff, a little insight into behind the scenes there, so we could go through a script, and he had the wand out pointing at things.
Oh my God.
I was like, ah!
What's weird is that he was pointing it at you and going, Crucio.
Yeah, he's been saying Crucio all week.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, don't start making things up.
What
I
actually
literally
happened is-
heard it across the room the other day.
you didn't.
I
It was,
did?
you did. It was me.
Oh.
I picked up the wand and I was pointing it at Rob and saying, Crucio. Oh, I'm the bad person.
You thought it was Rob all along.
It was me.
Oh, my hearing's going. I'm
yeah.
hearing the Yahoo samurais. And
Well, I was doing it a little bit like
It was
Rob,
me.
I suppose.
Tell Cersei.
I just hear that tone of voice and then Rob's out again.
That's Rob, yeah.
Oh, right. So that's enough of that. That is what's new. We're going to move on to remakes now, so we can talk about our favourite games that have had a little resurrection, a little bit of polish, and just, yeah, good stuff like that on the back of Dead Space. So stay tuned for the next 3 seconds. Here it comes. Whoa, I hope you're still here because we're in the main feature.
Thanks for
know.
sticking with us.
3 seconds too long.
Yeah, oh God, I don't want to push it. So I figured this week would be a good week to talk about video game remakes, maybe remasters, if any of you start to get tricksy with me. But remakes is our main part here. I figured it would be good because it's on the back of Dead Space, which is a brilliant remake.
Oh God, I remember I laid eyes on it the first time last week when we streamed it,
Yeah.
and you've been playing. I came up here and looked at it. I was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
Just one look at the screen, and I was wowed.
It's
It looks
gorgeous.
amazing.
Yeah, this is the thing. I just want to talk about Dead Space for a little bit, and then we can do the rest. But that was why I was like, let's talk about Dead Space.
Well, you should talk about Dead Space.
It's really good. That's all I've got to say.
How much have you played? Have you finished it yet? Or
No. We played it for the Heartbeat stream, where I weirdly had like calmed heartbeat from seeing necromorphs, which I think it's fully like, the scare is here.
Yeah, the only time Ash's heartbeat
yeah.
went up was when she was laughing at something.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally the only time. And her heart rate went down
Yeah.
when the necromorphs came out. She was fighting them.
It's funny because actually we spoke about this very briefly, and then last night I was watching The Last of Us, and there's a moment where I
No
was just
spoilers.
waiting. No spoilers. But there's a moment where I was expecting a jump scare or something to come out, and something did, and I went.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was like, actually what happened was I went, hooray. She went, did you just say hooray? And I went, yeah. And I realised it was exactly that. It was like, I was waiting. I was like, oh, thank God it's over. And we know that there's something in here now, so we can move on with that.
They do the old one too so often though, where you'll get a jump scare and
I
you'll be
hate
like,
that.
there it's been, and it's like, wah,
Well, not really.
yeah. Or they'll do the fake one where like the door opens, you're like, oh, there's nothing there, and then it comes around the side.
You
Those
can
are my
tell
favourites.
it's always there's like a little an exhale from the character, and usually they've got their back. They're not looking at the
turn around. Yeah.
and you can tell that the camera's about to just to lean back a bit, and
Yeah.
there's going to be something there.
Yeah.
Just they open the door, there's nothing there. They go, oh, they close the door and it's behind the door.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
See, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Skinamarink yet, but it's actually coming to Shudder soon. I think it will be.
You haven't seen what? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Skinamarink. It's a new horror film.
Skinamarink.
Skinamarink. It's like an American phrase for like a little rhyme or something. Anyway, it just looks like that sort of film where it's like super duper scary, tensiony. Like it's about some boys that get trapped in a house where all the windows and doors disappear.
God.
And it's out on Shudder streaming soon, so I'm really excited to watch it. It should be out by the time that this podcast goes out, and that sort of vibe. I'm really looking forward to just being tense for like an hour and a half. Like, oh no, it looks really atmospheric. Oh no. Talking of really atmospheric, Dead Space again.
Yeah.
We're back on it because it is incredible, and I feel like it's a really faithful remake of like what Dead Space is, but offers so many new things for like new players and old players. Now, I played the original Dead Space, but it was so long ago that I just don't remember it in the same way that I would like to, or that I think I should. So coming back to this was such a refresher. Like I realised I really didn't know anything, and all the stuff that I was a little bit familiar with has been just twisted like slightly, or like has this new atmosphere to it. Or, you know, Isaac's talking, and then you've got the choices between different power relays you can choose to make the experience different each time you do it. I just think it's really, really a testament to paying homage to, you know, something that's had such a great legacy, whilst also updating it and offering new things for people that know it and people that don't. Like, it's a perfect in point for really good survival sci-fi horror.
It's a really difficult. It makes me just think about the kind of remake. The job of the remake in general is really nuanced and quite tricky, actually, because people who are, you know, someone like Nath, who like is super familiar with Dead Space. I don't know. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? When you're super familiar with a game, are you just looking for that game that you love, with maybe just like, you know, some updated graphics and like some like quality of life things that are a bit better, like, you know, maybe a save system that's improved or whatever, like, or are you looking for like those little moments where they've made change, you know, where there are actually little differences and noticing those? And then there's new players who are coming who have no prior experience, so it's like a weird kind of, there's like two camps of people you have to satisfy. Like if I played Dead Space, which seems unlikely, I have no prior experience of
Seems
it, really.
unlikely. You were like, let me add it the other day.
I wasn't like that. I was just like, it's a game I've always wanted to play. It's like Alien Isolation or something. I love the world and like the idea of it, and obviously it's meant to be a classic. I want to get through it. I desperately want to play it because I think loads of it I would really enjoy, but I don't know if I actually can, if my fear will get the better of me. So but yeah, it's, you know, I think it's a really difficult thing that remakes have to do, because are you just completely true to the source material and you just maybe kind of bring it up to date in terms of like visuals and things like that, or do you kind of put a spin on things and try and add value to people who have played it before, like give them a reason to play it again that isn't just it looks a bit better, but, you know, here's some new systems, here's like, I think in Dead Space there are new jump scares and things, aren't there? They've tried to scare people again, because that is a particular problem for a horror game, I think, where maybe the first time you play it, maybe a lot of the joy of it is the scares, and then you play it again and again, you love it, and then you know where all the scares are, and maybe that aspect of it, you can still enjoy it, but that aspect of it is then lost, whereas they've obviously tried to bring that back with some surprises for people who are really familiar with it this time around.
And it's worked really well.
Yeah.
Nathan was telling us about the bit that he noticed where you go down to collect your stasis module for the first time. So it's when you come down a little ramp. Before it was all on one level. I think it was lower down rather than being higher up, is what he was saying. And you'll come down and then you'll go through and get your stasis module and carry on. And that's just all like as is. And in the remake, a body falls off a ship at the top when you start going towards the stasis module. So like you'll go, like you're coming from up high down low and something drops on you, so you're like, ah! which wasn't in the original, which is just a really nice touch. Like nothing's actually like changed story-wise. It's just a little drop for the people that know where to expect safety, which is good, because that's what a horror should be doing. It should be keeping you on your toes. It should be not knowing what to expect. It's the unknown, it's the unpredictability, keeping that fresh and alive in a game that was like renowned for it back in the day. Like, I don't know, I just think it's done a really good job.
Yeah, and maybe this is quite a particular horror thing actually, because a remake of a game that isn't a horror game, scares aren't a thing. Like, unexpected scares and things aren't a thing that, as in, like, being scared is part of the enjoyment of horror, I guess. And if you're playing a remake of a game that you know really well, then those scares aren't going to be there. Whereas, a remake of a game like Final Fantasy VII, for example, well, that's a whole different take.
I'm going to say that's the worst example.
I mean, you say, but also you've got things like the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, which, yes, the base 3 games are very much the same, just remade. But then they said, okay, we've actually added a new level. And everyone got so excited about the premise that not only like now is the game remade, but then a bit later when they were like, we've done a whole new level and it's like the toughest level. Of course, everyone who loves Crash Bandicoot loves the brutality of it. So I'll never forget how excited everyone was to be like you say, the new things as well that they get added in. It's like, what are they going to do with because, they've remade the game. So given that team the chance to create something new as well, it's like, what are they going to do? So it's not only necessarily horror as well, it can be done on other sort of genres for remakes as well.
Yeah, like the just Easter eggs and stuff as well, like throwing in a little moment where you can be like, I know what they're referencing here, or this is from later in the series and they've like built it into this bit. I think that's always really nice. Like it's just a good little homage, little yes, here's for the fans, there you go. Enjoy.
Well, it's funny with you guys talking about, like these new surprise spooks and stuff, because for work, I was very honoured to play a bit of the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yes.
And just for, again, a fun little behind the scenes. So I did a video on it for the channel. And I think the video was around 10-ish minutes, I think it was. But the actual recording, I think, Rob, bless you, you had to put up with me chatting to you for 40 minutes of me literally
Rosie had
in this segment.
Notes of literally every single enemy that had changed position in the original Resident Evil 4. And Rosie meticulously went through them one by one. So you know the one, when you go in the first house and there's that Ganado by the fireplace, he's now 5 inches to the left.
He's not
but
exactly what you
I really
think.
admired your sort of depth of knowledge of the original game. And I think that's where I think remakes become very exciting to fans who know and love the original so well. It's in seeing how that thing they've loved has been reinterpreted and brought to life in a different way.
That's what always excites me.
Final Fantasy VII Remake that you mentioned earlier, Dave, I think it goes beyond a remake, even though it's literally called Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah. It has taken a remake
it's
and just
a complete reimagining, I think by necessity as well, because the original game is over 20. Well, actually, today is Final Fantasy VII Day.
Wow.
And it's
and you
been
haven't
announced,
demanded a stream.
It's been announced as a public celebration, and an official public celebration in Japan.
That's nice.
I believe it's the 26th anniversary today, if my maths are correct, of Final Fantasy VII. So it's this game that obviously is 4 generations in the past now. So you can't really just... Because it's not just the visuals that have been updated, it's the entire structure and the entire way that people make games now has completely changed. So with Final Fantasy VII, I mean, they've done it very ambitiously, and it's now going to be a trilogy of games that are like this reimagining of Final Fantasy VII. But in terms of adding value to people who know the original so well, without wanting to spoil things, they've like added an element of mystery and uncertainty to the storyline, which makes people who have played it gives them like an emotional investment they weren't expecting. They thought they were just going to play this lavish modern reimagining of Final Fantasy VII, when really it is that, and you get all these amazing reimaginings of iconic scenes that just look incredible with this modern makeover. But also there's now like, I'm emotionally hooked in a way that I didn't expect to be. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 games, and that is incredibly exciting. And I think that is where the magic of remakes, I think, shines brightest. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is an incredible example of what you can do with a remake of a beloved game, like an insanely ambitious,
adding so many cats in,
beautiful example, and it's got cats in it. It's a
That reminds me,
literal
actually, I've played
side
Monster
quest with
Hunter
cats.
Rise. That's also another game that's come out recently.
Palicos.
Yeah. Oh, you would. That is genuinely a cat game. Like, I was
Ranting there. You must
Well, no, I've only played the beginning. I haven't actually slayed any monsters yet because my boyfriend was like, "Can you give it a go?" When I like come back from traveling, I was very tired. I was like, "Okay, I'll do the first bit," and literally. The amount of cats, and you can create your own palico as well as your companion. I was just like, this, because I immediately thought this is the cat game.
I want the Palico from Monster Hunter World to like chef it up for me is what I actually want. I love that little chef cat. Sorry, Rob, we've cut across your Final Fantasy.
No, I'd finished.
Oh.
I'd finished.
Sorry, I just wanted the term of the cat game. I was going to tell you about this.
Yeah, little Palicos are so adorable. I would just want one. I'm missing home at the moment. I'm missing my cat. Like, I just keep getting pictures from my mom of just Toasty like zoomed in with her big eyes. Talking about cats, it just makes me feral. I gotta stroke him, I gotta see him. But instead, I'm going to talk about video game remakes instead. So my next question was going to be what makes a remake work well, but I think we've really spoken about that through kind of just
We got that
exploring.
covered.
Yeah. Tick in the box.
And then my next one is, what are your favourite video game remakes? So what stands out to you as the creme de la creme, the best of the best, and other such phrases?
It's Final Fantasy VII Remake for me,
Yeah.
but I also, one I really love is the Shadow of the Colossus remake on PS4. Because it's just breathtakingly beautiful, absolutely stunning game. The water, the waves on that beach near Colossus number 2, I believe, there's like a really big expanse of beach, and the waves that come up against the shore. My God, I could just stand there for ages.
I'm
and
sure
just
you have.
watch it, and I have done that as well. That's a beautiful game. Blue Point, who obviously made that, then went on to make the Demon Souls
I was going to say Demon
remake,
Souls.
which maybe someone who has actually finished it can talk about, because I'm still stuck on the flipping Tower Knight.
Well, Rosie and I would love to take this one.
I was going to say, you finished it as well, didn't you? I was going to say you did.
I
Do you want to go
But
first?
do you have the platinum?
No, but
No,
what I
me
do
neither.
is I like boot it up every now and then just to get, because I love the trophy list because it's just fun challenges. So sometimes if I just think, wow, Demon Souls really is a fantastic game, I'm in the mood to play it for a bit, I will try and attempt one of the challenges for the trophy. So I'm trying to do the Tower Knight without taking out the archers on New Game Plus at the moment. So that's like where I am at the moment in the Platinum Quest. But it's a very like casual, like fun little challenges run.
Just casual
Demon Souls. Just
And also my friend, he's literally just booting up Demon Souls now, and he wants to do it multiplayer. So this, again, like everything I've done with Dark Souls and Bloodborne, all those kinds of games, my character will then be leveling up, helping them. And then when it comes to me doing the challenges, I might just be like, like it'll be a bit more nicer to me. But yeah, Demon Souls is a fantastic remake. Like, not only was it a launch game for PS5, and it's a beautiful demonstration of the power of the PS5.
It still is. Like, if you've just got a
Looks
PS5,
incredible.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
you've got to get Demon Souls. I remember that's my first PS5 experience. Just walking through that first area with the headphones on, so you get like the 3D audio. Insanely gorgeous game.
Yeah.
I'm laughing, right, because I wasn't allowed to play Demon Souls. I wasn't allowed, because you guys were all like, we'll do a playthrough. So they all played and had fun on it. And I was sat there waiting, thinking, wait, we'll do it on the channel at some point. And then we did Bloodborne. But then we went back to Bloodborne. So I still need to go back and play it properly, which I'm really excited to do. I enjoyed the bits that we've done in Christmas Maze and other challenges so much. It is so gorgeous. And seeing that... centipede head man, the giant centipede man, I don't know, he's such a freak. Like, I just want to go and fight him.
I don't know who you're on about, but he sounds horrible.
Yeah, he's long.
He's long.
I know who you mean,
I
because
do know
when
who
you
you mean.
described him, I was like, who do you mean? And as soon as I was like, wow, you're right, that is the character's name. They're in the the tower area, you know, where there's the gargoyles and you're on lots of bridges.
Yeah, I
they're
know
like
the bit.
the enemies. They're like some of the ones which are on those thin paths.
Yeah,
and
I know
stuff.
that bit. I remember that bit very well. Interestingly, the remakes that I would probably, I didn't read your notes, Ash, so maybe this has been sprung upon me totally. But the remakes I'm thinking of are all games that I hadn't played the original of. So Demon Souls, I didn't play the original. Did you play the original, Rosie?
No, I played the original after.
Right.
I haven't finished the original, but
That's such a rosy thing to do.
No, I played the original one on PS3 after, and like even then, it's still a fantastic game. But I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the magic of them as well, though. The original still exists, and you can go back and enjoy it as
That's
well.
true,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
They're
Like,
still fantastic and
Rob's
everything.
still cackling over here.
I'm still struggling with it on PS5. Imagine finishing it on PS5 now. You know what? I'll put myself through that all again, but in a game that doesn't look quite as beautiful now. Going and playing it on PS3.
The other remake that I loved and haven't played the original of, which I'm stepping on your toes again, Rosie.
Resident Evil 2?
It's Resident Evil 2.
I really wanted to say Resident Evil 2 as well. I really, when it was like, oh, Demon Souls, I was like, I'll go from Demon Souls to Resident Evil 2. And I was like, yes, Dave, you talk about Resident Evil 2.
Well, it's interesting. This is what I'm talking about. Whereas I'm the person who played it and loved it and had no real. I had played like maybe the first 10 minutes of the original. I can remember. I think I might have rented it from Blockbuster or something. I can remember really clearly the opening bit where you were like walking through the streets. But anyway, basically had no history with Resident Evil 2 and played the remake, and unexpectedly, and I'm sure anyone who's listening to this and knows how scared I am of horror, like shocked myself by really enjoying it, and like it pulled me through even all the scary bits. But it to me it's like it's almost not a remake because I haven't played the original. It's just a game that I loved. So what's your experience of it as someone who loved the original as well?
I just think Resident Evil 2 is again another fantastic remake in the sense that I love the original Resident Evil games on PlayStation 1, and I love the tank control and the atmosphere and stuff like that. I love them to pieces, but I do appreciate that for a modern audience, not everyone is patient maybe with tank controls and things like that. So I can completely understand why they went for like the third person over the shoulder perspective, but they've still kept the atmosphere, the tension, the story, the characters. It looks gorgeous. The zombies are like, I've said it so many times, the zombies are the best looking zombies in any game.
They are some lookers.
And
the burger and then the dead face
burger
one.
and
It's
how
an
they
amazing burger at the beginning.
It makes me feel a bit sick when I see it though.
Really?
Yeah.
I could devour it.
I don't know.
But it takes everything that the original does, but then just modernizes it and still keeps the core and the tension that the original had as well. It's just fantastic. And also as well, like bringing in a bit more, or bringing in Mr. X at moments where he's not necessarily in the original, but because I think in the original he only appears, if I might be completely wrong, but if you do a B campaign, because there's this whole thing with like Leon A, Leon B, Claire A, Claire B. But I think he actually only appears if you do the second story. I could be completely wrong. Whereas in the remake, they were like, right, no, Mr. X, he's here and he's gonna, you're gonna have some fun times with him. But they used him beautifully, like the way they use him when he's chasing you.
Gorgeous tyrant.
Mr. X is a gorgeous tyrant.
I feel like that was the part of the game where, you just have to keep going. I just had to keep going. I seem to remember, like, I had been lucky because I'd been to a preview event with Nath, and where we'd got to play that bit of the game. I'd watched Nath play it, and so I was aware that it was coming up, and I knew like enough about it. Like, I knew that he couldn't really be defeated. You was just supposed to run away from him, all that kind of stuff. So I felt quite good about that because I was armed with that knowledge. And when I got to that bit in my playthrough, I was like, I just need to do this bit now. I'm just going to sit down for as long as it takes, like an hour, 2 hours. I'm just going to do this bit because I just couldn't. The tension of it, where there's almost like no. Obviously, you can go and save in save rooms and things, but like to just come out and to instantly be being hunted the whole time, we're just being hunted, and he can pop up at any moment. It's just so stressful. I just needed to get through it
because we're being hunted.
Exactly. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I love that game. I don't know if I can speak to it as a remake, but it is a remake, and it's fantastic. And it's another one of those interesting things where the people remaking these games have to make some decisions about what is essential to the original, like the tank controls. Another developer might have thought, well, we have to stick with the tank controls because
They're
that's just how,
iconic
that's how
and-
they're iconic,
Well,
and that's how it
it's
was.
like the Final Fantasy VII remake in that regard. When the game is as old as those games are,
Yeah.
it's not just the visuals you have to update.
Right.
It's the structure of them.
Yeah.
It's how you don't get horror games with tank controls anymore because ultimately, I guess the way games were made back then was a response to like the hardware limitations of the time.
Yeah.
And now those limitations just aren't there. You can have this amazingly immersive cinematic experience.
Very easily.
Very easily.
At
Yeah,
the drop of a hat, right, developers?
It's so easy. You just press the PS5
Cinematic
button,
yeah.
and out
does the
pop
thing.
these amazing games. Yeah.
For Remake as well, I really want to give a little shout out. Obviously, I've said Crash and Spyro, but
Parappa.
but that's so you got the Parappa remaster. So that's the thing then, a remaster or a remake. So that's a remaster. But I was actually also going to say the Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2 because they are remakes from the PS2 games, and like Yakuza Kiwami 2 is a gorgeous PS4 game as well. So just wanted to give a little shout out to them as well before we move on. There's probably loads of other remakes but I'm just like, I love remakes.
Yeah. What's your favourite, Ash? Oh, yes, I just heard that. Okay, so I will answer, which is that it is Resident Evil 2 as well, definitely would be the shout out. But Last of Us Part 1, oh my God,
Yeah.
so amazing. But I've gushed about that quite a lot, and we've had like little specials on it and everything. Last of Us Part 1, oh, what a remake. It's so good. Like just going into
I'm gonna play it again after the show's
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and play Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, it's amazing, and going into places that kind of like have new decorations and stuff as well. Like one of the key things they did was like deck out rooms to look more appropriate for the setting they're in. So like when you're in the museum building, I'm sure it's quite iconic, but it's just a museum building.
Yeah.
And that you're in the back rooms, it's like where they're preserving paintings and doing restorations and stuff, which wasn't in the original. So it's lots of the story and the characters and everything are the same, but the world around you has just become a little bit more luscious and fulfilled, and just love it. Just love it.
How incredible is that story in that universe that, you know, we've all just recently played The Last of Us Part 1. And now there's a television show about it, which I am loving so much that it makes me want to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
I've
And
also-
having already played the other versions of the game as well.
I've also heard people as well who don't play the video games or haven't played the video game, watch the series, and then I've actually had some people say, oh, maybe I'll ask someone if I can borrow their copy of the game or something
Yeah.
like that as well. So yeah, like the complete other angle as well.
I think it would be, obviously we're all experiencing the TV show, having played the games, being very familiar with them. It would be so fascinating, yes, to watch the TV show with no expectations, but more than that, to watch the TV show with no expectations and then play the game.
Yeah.
I have no understanding of what that would be like for you to think of it as a TV show that they've made a game of almost, even though it's the other way around. It would be fascinating. I really hope that people do play the game.
Let's find someone.
Yeah.
Let's find that person and drag
love
them on
that.
here. What was it like?
what was it like? Tell us.
Oh, it's good. It's a good game.
I'll
actually.
get my dad
I liked
on.
it, yeah.
Thanks. Now get out.
Right, guys, just to finish off our little main feature, I am going to ask, are there any remakes that you're really looking forward to?
Resident Evil 4.
I was going to try and get in before.
I got an invent. As soon as you said that, I was like, Resident Evil 4.
Besides Resident Evil 4 is what I was going to try and say.
No, I said it first. Resident Evil 4, there you go.
Yeah, well, Rosie's done, isn't she?
Yeah, your guys'
She's took
turn.
mine.
Ash, what about Silent Hill 2?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? That was going to be my joke if I was like, oh, what would you like to see remade? Silent Hill 2. And then, it is.
Ta-da. What about you, Rob?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I was gonna
Oh
say.
my God. Like, I think I said before that my excitement for that is like, it feels like I've buried it under layers and layers of,
like a dog.
like a dormant volcano.
Right.
I know it's
Oh.
there. And
I'd like to see someone bury a volcano.
when they
They do that
No,
themselves.
the magma, the magma is my excitement.
Don't say my magma.
My magma. But when we hear more about that game,
Yeah.
I am going to be uncontrollable.
You're going to
My
start smoking.
God,
As
yeah.
in, smoke will be coming out of you. He's not going to take up smoking.
I can't wait.
Rob with a Marlboro Red.
This is my day.
I think Final Fantasy VII Remake was the most excited I've ever been for a video game since I was a child. And Rebirth, because Remake was so amazing and I loved it so much, Rebirth is going to be...
The name Rebirth makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why. I think it's because it sounds like afterbirth.
Because you're a horror person and you're thinking about horrible birth things.
I'll keep thinking about the movie Men. Let's move on. What are you looking forward to?
Poor Rob's face was really in the moment of like his excitement for Final Fantasy Rebirth. I'm sorry that happened, Rob.
I'm not.
What?
He'll be back and bouncing back like a hot magma man soon enough. He'll be puffing away on his little smoke. Silence from the boy.
Dave, what's your remake?
It's Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Do we need to talk about that, or is
No,
it?
but I'm just excited. I'm just excited for other people to play it as much as me. Or to be honest, it's been a very long time since I have played it. I have forgotten loads and loads and loads, and I know how much I enjoyed it at the time, and I know how well respected it is. So I'm thrilled to go back, but I'm also really excited. It's it's known as one of the best Star Wars games ever. So the fact that some other people might play it and enjoy it would be great. Maybe Rob. I was looking around. I don't think I've got the right audience. Maybe Rob will play it.
I'm always up for a Star Wars game. I played a lot of Star Wars PS1, PS2 games, and I've played them over the years.
Okay, remade.
Yeah, I could play it.
All
I'll
right.
play them remade.
You're on.
Yeah, let's do it.
this.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Does it have a rancor in it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
No, that's a deal breaker for you.
But no, I like an RPG, and I like a big open world RPG where you're running around and doing stuff. Just the world of Star Wars has become...
You mean the worlds of Star Wars?
The worlds of Star Wars have become populated by many things now, and I like my imagination to be a bit more free. But I imagine that's what Knights of the Old Republic will offer, because
I thought you were going to do a Palpatine line then. Like, what was it you said? The worlds of Star Wars have been populated by many a thing I would consider unnatural.
That's probably the line, isn't it? If I watched more Star Wars, I'd have been able to quote that. The thing is, I've seen nearly every piece of Star Wars media. It's not like I'm like a non-believer. I just need to feel the Force again.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are feeling that way.
Yeah. And Knights of the Old Republic, I know, is so highly considered that I would be very happy for that to pull me back in and make me feel like, yes, lightsabers are cool.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even love lightsabers that much. Can I just shock you? I don't even love lightsabers that much.
What's
They're
your
magic
favourite
swords.
defense weapon of choice?
A defense weapon of
A
choice.
blaster.
you don't have to be the attacker. You could be defending.
Right.
The
Lightsaber-
shields that the Gungans have in the Phantom Menace.
Absolutely not my favourite. No.
No?
Ewoks
But they-
throwing rocks.
Is that defense? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
confused by the rules.
Or weapon. Okay, which weapon? Your favourite
just,
weapon?
Just your classic blaster.
Your
just like
classic
Han
blaster.
Solo's blaster.
Sorry, you don't like the magic space sword, you like gun.
Laser gun. Magic space gun.
Laser
It's not
sword.
Magic. It's magic to me. I don't know how they make them. I think yeah.
Okay, all right. You
Well,
stand by that.
I just think that I like lightsabers when they're. It's like I like my lightsabers like I like my Jedi, which is few and far between. You know.
I agree.
That's
they
fair.
should
That's
be
fair.
to keep the mystery and
Exactly.
the specialness of them alive.
Not everyone's got a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Not interested in that. If you
So-
got like, there's 3 in the universe, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
A little aside, I bought my 2 little brothers who've just recently really got into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like replica lightsabers for Christmas, and it was very hard to resist grabbing one of them and
Yeah.
going. When I got them out of the box, they were just all afternoon just.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there, having to be an adult on the
Yeah.
sofa. Yeah.
Having to be an adult.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
I've still got a little
Yeah.
lightsaber.
Nah.
How little?
It's quite big. She's brought it in before.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Why have I never seen your lightsaber?
We did it for a video.
Yeah, you went in it.
I think it was a Friday feature, maybe one that you went in at the
Yeah,
Oh my
time.
God,
you
I
just went
see.
around, so we put Rosie on the Star
Yeah.
Wars job.
But I was on the Star Wars job and I
Oh, I
brought
seem
in my
to remember that.
lightsaber.
God, well, I mean, you have got a lightsaber. Maybe you're a bigger Star Wars fan than me.
Yeah, maybe. That's how you judge it, is it? Like,
Yeah.
I just have my toy lightsaber.
Right, I want to ask more questions about Samuel L. Jackson's purple lightsaber, but we're going to have to move on.
Quickly.
Yeah, it's the
Wait, can I
best
just say,
lightsaber.
Like a Dragon Ishin's also a remake as well of the
Of
PS3
lightsabers?
game. No, just a remake in general.
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Of the
yes.
PS3 game.
You can, Rosie.
Sorry, just line that in.
you can say that, but you're about like 20 minutes too
I
late.
know. We went on to Star Wars, and the whole time I was like, I wanted to say that one more thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you. I'm now going to move
You're
on.
welcome, Marie. You're welcome.
So that is the end of our main feature. We're now going to move on to some comments of the week. So stay tuned for a little bit of music and then a little bit of mouth music too. Okay, we're back. It is the comments of the week time from the hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, the power. It feels so good. So this week I figured we could remaster the little comments of the week song. So instead of going, it's time, comments of the week, we do it backwards pitched.
Okay.
So it's like, it's time.
Great. Okay. Cool. This will be a disaster.
Wait, and
So
then Dave-
Rosie's going to start.
No, I'm third. Normally, you're last.
So
aren't you?
Ash,
No,
you're
I
good.
No,
still
I'm
start.
last. No, I'm last.
I thought I
So
still started. I just have to go higher up.
I want to hear Dave go
Wait,
high.
who's last? Am I last?
No, I think
third.
I'm usually. Sorry, I think I. Hang
What?
on, usually-
You do this every 2 weeks. You do it. How do you always forget?
Okay, no, I am last. I think so. do you want-
God.
do you
No,
want-
because we do it so that in the edit it goes do 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 do. So it's got to be like
do.
You're fourth, Ash. Yeah.
Yeah, you're fourth.
okay, all right, everyone. Now we know.
Well, can we hear Dave
Oh,
go high
God.
pitch? Can we do it that you have to go high? I really want to hear.
So you want me to go first?
I think you should
again?
go low, and we go lower as we can.
Oh.
No, go high,
We
Dave.
start at 0 and
Yeah,
go
no.
down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh,
I can't decide. I'm
Barry
just gonna.
White.
I do want to hear Rosie's Barry White again. Okay. It's time.
It's time.
That was
You went.
higher.
You did like exactly the same pitch as me. What was going on?
Look. My brain is going to struggle with this.
If you just
I've
do
gotta try
anything
and
lower,
All right.
it could sound
I'm
horrible.
gonna
It's
go
just gotta
lower
be
than
lower.
you.
It's lower.
Okay.
Wait,
Ready?
and I'm last. Okay.
I'm gonna go
No,
for the same
I'm
pitch.
last.
All right.
Here we
No,
go.
I'm last because it goes Rob, then the camera goes to me. Then it
No,
goes to
I go
you.
first.
Yeah, it's
Then
Dave,
Rob.
Rob, me, you.
Yes, well,
Yes.
I'm last.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, right. I can't believe we've just had that conversation twice. We've reached the same conclusion both times. Okay. It's time.
It's time.
It's
Sorry.
This is
The
not
worst remaster
This is
ever.
a terrible remaster. 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Play the original.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
no
one more
reason
try.
for it
One
to
more
exist.
try.
It's time.
It's time
for comments of the week.
Oh, that is sick. That needs to be killed.
Remastered, baby. Right. Okay. So
I'm
comments.
so sorry. I'm really sorry to everyone. I'm really sorry.
I thought it was
I don't know if
beautiful.
that's okay. I feel like having to listen to that, it feels like that's offensive. Someone's just out for a nice walk. They're driving. They're just trying to do
People
some
are in
work.
their cars right now. Someone's in their car and they've
They've had to stop
They've
the car.
got their partner to be like, okay, should we listen to a podcast on this long journey?
Try it.
This
Just
is my
try it.
favourite gaming podcast.
Just try
if
it.
that's you now in the car and
Yeah.
you're introducing your partner to your favourite gaming
Yeah.
podcast, we're very sorry.
I know you're not really into games, but you just try it. They're quite funny. And it's like they talk about this. Honestly, just try it.
I don't know if they've got this far. They've turned
Yeah,
it off. They've looked around and they're like, are you serious? This is
Never
what
heard the
this is what
apology.
you're listening to.
Yeah.
Well, I think your partner's very cool and fun for listening to this podcast.
Also, hello in the car. Where we going? What we doing? I need a wee.
Let us out. Let us out. Right. So let's read the comments of
Let's
the
read
week.
the comments.
So the comments of the week are from the hashtag Pod Squad,
Pod Squad.
which is a collective that uses the hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
In YouTube videos or on social media to send in comments that we then read out in podcasts. And it could be you if it's any podcast later than this one, because this one's already happened. So don't forget to leave those afterwards. Right now, these are the people that did this in the past, so that it's happened now, further in the past than this is. So, Because of Dragon says, these are really long comments. Alex has curated this and they're like paragraphs. So, Because of Dragon says, Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Well done, Rob. You looked at my screen, you cheeky.
What? It's the first word of it. I've just
Yeah.
still got to listen to when you say it, haven't I?
Look, right, Pod Squad. I
Pod
think
Squad.
Pod Squad.
I feel like we need some kind of truce or something. We need
A
something.
ceasefire.
A ceasefire.
it
Pod
should
Squad
be.
ceasefire.
It should be when I say hashtag the word.
Okay.
That's when you should say it. If I'm
Okay.
just saying Pod Squad, then it should be
Okay,
okay.
fine.
All right. So Pod Squad.
Just like
I think
Simon
that
says.
What?
It's like
It
Simon
is like
says.
Simon says.
It
And if
is.
you
Yeah.
say Pod Squad and there's been no hashtag, then there's some
You have to
kind
leave.
of punishment. Yeah, you're out.
Goodbye.
You're out of the podcast.
You're out of the podcast. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. Postcard. I think that Hitman would make an excellent movie, but you tell it from the perspective of police trying to track him down. You would rarely see 47, and even then he would be in the background of scenes. Treat it like a horror movie where the monster is the talented 47 killing his targets whilst the police try and hunt him down, learning more about his backstory as it happens. I think it would be a great way to showcase just what the Hitman games are about, whilst also being accessible for those who know nothing about the games. My
That'd be
throat
really
made a
good.
horrible noise.
That would be really good because there'd be loads of Easter eggs where Hitman is in disguise, just in plain sight
I
in
love that
scenes,
idea, yeah.
and you just don't know.
Yeah.
And there'd be loads of articles online, like 37 times you didn't notice it was Hitman in the movie.
Yeah.
And it would just be like someone working in a shop.
I don't know. I'd probably view it as like, where's Wally? Like every scene, or every time you go into a new location, like a shop, I'd be like, where's Hitman? Or like, you know, and then they're like going to the train station, where's Hitman?
Those are the best ones though, like the Ghost Watch with the pipes. Like that's what you want to see. You want to see the spooky ghost in the background, like Haunting of Hill House. Like,
Yeah.
come on, serve me some Hitman horror realness. Like,
I think it's a fantastic idea.
It's a
really.
great
The
idea.
only thing I don't know is whose side am I supposed to be on? Do I want him to be caught by the police or do I want him to escape?
I don't know. That's
I need some clarification on that.
I
But
guess you
think
get
it's
to decide. It would be a morally ambiguous
right
film.
because he's he is a killer, but maybe he's killing horrible people
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
higher cause.
He only kills the bad guys, doesn't he?
Does
well,
he?
that's
Oh,
what
I mean,
you
we
tell
don't know.
yourself. Yeah.
Unless I'm playing it,
You,
of
you
course.
always skip those cutscenes. 47. I need you to kill. Doesn't he? Or whatever. Yeah. What is
I
it?
don't care
Wrench?
what they've
do you want? Poison? What's
This guy was late on his delivery service.
Yeah, I'll kill him.
Get
Yeah,
him.
sounds good. Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's a great idea. That came from our video game adaptations pod as well. If you haven't listened to that, then give it a listen. And that was like a little rundown of what they think a Hitman movie should be. A Hitman movie does exist, though.
It does,
It
yeah.
does. How did you?
But
It
not like
does.
that.
I watched it at my family home. We had a great time.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm glad. It
That was
was
a
lovely.
wholesome moment.
My family home.
I'm glad.
Myself, my boyfriend, and my stepdad, and he doesn't play video games, but he loves like an action film. So we put it on, and my boyfriend and I were like, "Oh, it's a Hitman. Let's watch it." And then he was just like, "Oh, look at this guy," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lovely time.
It's like I'm there, Rosie. Honestly.
My stepdad's here right now.
We're all in Rosie's family home right now. Okay, so
Coat of arms on the wall.
Kirby Rawstone from Winner Plays On, the classic platformer race, says, Pod Squad, I was inspired by this stream to do the Crash 3 challenge myself and completed it in 1612. Though admittedly I did cheese tiny like the honourless bandicoot I am. Love the stream and look forward to seeing Dave retain his crown indefinitely. Surely he can't lose now. Surely he can, is what I say to that.
I mean,
How the mighty fall.
what do you mean? How the
How the mighty fall.
What's that? What's
How
that
the
even
mighty
mean?
fall.
What's that mean in this situation?
How the mighty fall.
Very strange.
The higher you climb, the harder you fall.
That's true. Yeah, and I keep
And
giving
with your
you
big old
every-
head and that crown on it, how the mighty fall.
I am mighty. Yes, thank you.
And you shall fall.
I may fall, but I keep giving you guys opportunities, and no one will take them.
How the mighty fall.
No one will take them.
You will.
I cannot believe I'm still the king, to be honest, especially after that last stream.
Yeah, nobody can.
I don't know, Rob, if you...
How the mighty fall.
Will you stop saying that? I don't know if you've given it any more thought. Does it, have you just moved on with your life? It was a
Yeah,
crazy
moved on now.
afternoon.
Yeah.
It was a crazy afternoon.
Yeah.
Rob's
I
like,
sh-
next comment.
I should have cheesed Tiny, but I didn't. I think I played
don't
very
cheese.
honourably in that stream.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
If
And
it
that
was a
That was
challenge.
my downfall in the end.
Well, no, I disagree. And as much, obviously, I disagree because I won. But my point is that, like, playing honourably, I think is something we should always do.
No,
Yeah.
I think so as well. Even I haven't cheated at Winner Plays On. And like, yeah, so,
You've only had one game so far, though.
yeah.
I can't. I'm looking forward to whoever's in next, though. And
I think it's. I mean,
well, it's up to the community. They've got to vote.
Between me and you, Rosie.
I'm going to be out though, so yeah,
It's the
between-
bikini takedown.
the bikini takedown.
Yeah.
That's the noise.
Blimey.
I've got to say though, like if for the challenge, I wouldn't do the cheese, but sometimes like I've got to join Kirby, and like sometimes because when I was a kid, Tiny used to like absolutely dominate me because like I was, first video game I ever played, I could not do that boss, and it wasn't when I was like, actually it wasn't until I joined the channel I learned of the cheese. So sometimes I'll just boot up Tiny, and I'm just like, This is for all my years of torment you did to me, Tiny Tiger, getting my brother to play. So I'll just go in the corner and then just be like, like running. So that's like my own little. That's a cheese I appreciate.
A fine cheese.
A fine
fine
cheese.
An
In the
aged
remake as well,
They throw
the
the
audience
cheese.
throws cheese at you.
Oh,
if
that's
you,
good.
If you do the cheese.
That's
with it.
what a great remake detail that
Yes.
is. That's good remaking right there.
Yeah, great knowledge, Rob. Great knowledge.
It was because it was in a video
It
that
was.
Rosie did.
And I had cheese thrown at me to reference it,
Yeah.
which was great because my friend literally had like the plastic cheese plastered up his arm as if he was a waiter, and he was just like flying it like that, just throwing it at me. And then it got stuck in my hair, and I had to have a hot shower.
I
and it
remember.
just got really bad.
I remember. That was, yeah.
I'm going to move on from this one.
Yeah.
So, Acacia3582 on Twitter says, I took all of your advice and finally watched Final Fantasy The Spirits Within! It was some great 2001 eye candy and not at all was what I was expecting in a good way. Hashtag Pod Squad.
Pod Squad.
Oh, well done. Okay, good. Nice. You
really,
all remain.
I wasn't in the previous podcast when you talked about that, but I had to message everyone when I heard you talking about it because I am another person who loves that movie. Have no real knowledge of the Final Fantasy games, and it doesn't really matter because it's not related in any way whatsoever. It's such a good movie. I really want to watch it again now.
Yeah.
I think we should have a little watch.
Cinema room.
We should have a watch in the cinema room. I would love that. We
I
should
haven't
definitely
seen
do
it, so I would love that
Oh yeah,
very
you haven't
much.
seen
No,
it yet.
I haven't seen
We'll
it.
do a showing. We'll do a
Yeah.
viewing.
I'd
A
love that.
screening. That's what it's called. I think we should definitely watch it. But I'm really glad that they watched it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm just glad that that's happened as well.
Yeah.
It's great, and everyone else should go and watch The Spirits Within if this is not your first sign, but it is your second and final time that you will be told. I will not tell you again. We've got one more from is it Vi or V? V like VV?
Oh, Vivi.
Is it VV?
What,
Vivi.
from Final Fantasy?
Yeah, so I'd say it's V, the JRPG lover then. So biggest PS5 games of 2023 podcast, and they say Pod Squad.
Oh dear.
You also, I saw your lips stutter, Rob. You were like, Rob?
Sorry, Rosie, but we all heard
The microphone's
you.
covering your lips, but I saw them go.
Did you hear anything come out?
No, well, I sneezed. This is that's no, I went.
That's the first strike, Rosie. You're going to be out
There's
for that
no
whole time.
arguing.
I said cod is in the fish.
Well, we know about your history with COD, Rosie. Bring that up.
If you're relying on COD, then it's definitely gone wrong. Right, so they say Pod Squad. All I want to say is make Dave play horror games on PSVR 2 or we riot.
Oh, please don't. Let's riot then. Honestly, I can't.
You're going to be made, I'm afraid.
Too scared.
You're going to be made.
Someone on Twitter today posted one. I am actually really afraid.
Madison! It was Madison getting a...
Yes, I know what it was.
was Madison. I'm so gassed to make
Is
you
Madison,
play
is
Madison.
Madison
play
going
it.
on PSVR?
Blue knees.
Oh, yes. Is Madison coming to PSVR too?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Wow.
You should play it then. Why wouldn't you? You should play it. You're excited.
I've played it the whole way through on the
this
channel.
Not
is
like
good
this.
news.
Not like you're
This
in
is
the
good
in the
news.
zone.
I played it the whole way
Stop
through.
it. Stop
I
it.
mean, it was I found that so scary. Just playing it normally.
See, Rob's played Blue Knees.
Stop it.
I've played the whole thing. Rosie was with me when we did the
What's
platinum
that?
stream. So it's actually your
Oh,
turn.
it's
No,
gonna be.
that's not how it
It's gonna be
works.
so.
It's
scary.
genuinely your turn. We've all played it.
There's not. There's no turns.
It's just a bit when you get out that area.
Yeah.
And the first side really scared
The
me.
first door.
And the Blue Knees' face is just
I
like
saw
looking
that.
around.
It's so hard.
Neither of you.
Wait,
Pear.
was I with you on the Madison stream?
You were in the chat, yeah.
I remember I was in the chat, but I was going to say technically I haven't
Oh,
played
you
it.
see, there you go.
See, I thought I
Honest
would-
Rosie. Honest Rosie.
I thought I would give you like a
Thank
backup.
you,
I
Rosie.
technically haven't
I
played
was in the
it.
chat as well. Actually, I was watching. I was watching that.
Not
I was
true.
loving it. I was loving Rob being scared. It was brilliant.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
But what you guys haven't seen, Rosie has seen but not experienced. But you haven't actually seen Madison, the scary Madison, and that's so much worse because she's like
Worse than Blue Knees.
because she appears as a jump scare, but like
Oh,
when
no.
you don't expect her.
No.
So and
no.
she's like all her
I
guts
think
are out.
I honestly think that should be illegal in VR.
Yeah.
Jump scares are illegal. They are
well,
illegal.
Blue Knees is quite jump scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
illegal.
you at least can, if you're facing the right way, see him coming.
Yeah, and
least.
snap a picture.
Oh,
So
good.
he's sort of like juddering towards you. Got
I'm
to take
not
a
playing
picture.
it. Not
It's
playing
really
it.
scary. Honestly, Madison is one of the best recent horror games going. I'm so glad it's
really,
coming to VR.
really scary.
I'm glad that you love it as well. Like,
Well, Wow,
You had a good time.
I wouldn't say I love it. I appreciate the
Would you say
craft
you had
that has
a
gone
good
into
time?
making it. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, that makes it a very effective and well-made horror game.
Yes.
I can't say it was enjoyment that I felt, but
Blue knees,
having done
blue knees.
it's like when you watch like a really good horror movie. Once you've got through it, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that was
Now someone
that was
else's
a very
turn.
that was a very good film. Madison
Right.
is a very, very effective and good horror game, I think.
I'm really excited. I'm glad you brought it up in the podcast as well.
I didn't
now,
bring it up.
Now we can reference it back
I
and
didn't
go,
bring it up.
Dave's
What are
talking
you
about
about?
Madison.
You brought it up.
No.
The commenter brought it up.
Oh,
V.
oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blue Knees is behind and will find what he's been looking for. That's you.
And that's Dave with the
Oh,
VR
so
headset on.
Am I dreaming right now? What is this? Nightmare. Honestly. It's just horrible.
Okay.
Get on with it.
Okay. Right. We're going to move on from the comments of the week now. Thank you so much for sending those in, guys. And don't forget to use the hashtag PodSquad
PodSquad.
to be read out in future podcasts. Rosie, you nearly slipped up then as well.
I put the hand up. I was like, Pod Squad.
Yeah, you flew back in.
I flew back in.
We're going to move on to the Before We Go section now for a little bit of coverage outside of gaming. So let's go. Okay, it is the final section of this week's podcast. So, does anybody have anything they'd like to share with the class? Anything at all? No?
Other than The Last of Us. God.
No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I mean, I have just been really, really enjoying watching it. That's all. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it's I've looking at the Twitter reactions of everyone being like, "Wee," is so good. Like, it's just, it's the good stuff, the horrible stuff, the impactful stuff. Like, I'm glad the world is experiencing all the trauma that all the Last of Us gamers have had over this year.
Yeah, I've watching the first episode with my wife.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
You're like,
just like she was like, what the hell? Just that bit where the old lady you see her in the background.
Yeah.
And Sarah is just doing whatever she's doing in the front of the shot,
Yeah.
and Mrs. Adler, I think her name is in the background. Slow, you can see like
The
going,
mouth.
and the mouth opens.
Yeah.
My wife's like, "What the hell?" She didn't say that. She was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then obviously you get the really heavy, tragic bit, and there was just silence from my. She's just like a really sort of, like when I play the game. That there's no like, I understand how that would bring some people to tears, but for me, it's just like a stunned, shocked silence, and that was you felt that in the room, and that bit happened as well. It's so exciting watching it with someone who doesn't know what's going to happen. I love it.
Oh God, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good, isn't it?
It's very good.
Is there anything else anyone wants to mention? This is going to be a little small one because we've got a big long pod going on here.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't got anything else in my life at the moment.
We brought a double compartment bin for the kitchen.
Is that what we're descending to? Rosie's bought a bin.
I know, it's a double compartment bin, and we did it so you can have one compartment for your general waste and the other one for recycling. Because
Wait, you told me about this the other day. You were that excited about it. You're like, I've ordered it. I've ordered the double compartment bin.
Well, because we found one, and it's like the colour of it just naturally suited our kitchen, and we never gone with this bin brand before. But we were like, you know what? A Brabantia bin is around over £100, and this one was 70 or 80. I can't remember.
That's £70 on a bin.
It's a double compartment bin, so it's technically like two bins in one.
Just buy two £6 bins.
No,
for
but then they're like round, and like the size that makes it bigger. Whereas these ones are like, because it's just one rectangle.
That's so expensive.
This is a staggering entry. Oh
my God. Yeah.
I was like, what's something very exciting that's happened in my life? And I'm like, we've got a double compartment bin. But honestly, it's made our kitchen so much tidier. I love it to bits.
Well, that's good.
To be fair, even my mum, because I told my mum about it, and I had a catch
Is there
up.
anyone you haven't told about it, Rosie?
Then I had a catch up call with my stepdad, and I said,
Stepdad,
and he went,
your neighbours, come round.
He was like, "You're the
Come and see
reason."
the
Got any
bin.
rubbish?
He was like, "You're the reason why your mum keeps on talking to me about double compartment bin." So now she wants one.
Did you or did you not get Liam, your neighbour, to come round and look at the bin?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Literally,
I did. I was
It's
like,
like when you get a new TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, except it's a
Come
bin.
round. Yeah. Put
Well,
something in it. You got
it's
anything?
just because all of
Got
our
any
other,
lint or anything?
even Liam has a double compartment bin. All of our other neighbours had one, and that's why I just thought,
I need to get one now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm
I am
getting
gonna ask for a
FOMO.
link.
I've only got
I'd like
a
to see
normal bin.
I actually don't have a bin.
I'd like to see it.
Wait, where'd you put
What?
your rubbish?
I have a plastic
In a bag that hangs on the door, I
Yeah.
expect.
Classic.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's a plastic bag on the door handle. My nan used to do it. So
Yeah.
And it's easy because I empty it all the time. Like, 'cause it's just on the door.
What? Wait, the same bag?
No.
Right. We just when you say you empty it, made it
Just
sound
there,
like
like the bag.
you bring the bag back up. And I was like, how long have you been using that bag? Ash?
No. I don't want like a stinking bin full of stuff like
No.
for a week. I'll just put in my rubbishes and then take them outside and then that's it.
Yeah.
But I know that's what bins are normally. But like
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Oh,
every
Do you have
this
to
is-
make
I
sure
can't
that like
believe we're
nothing
talking about
leaks
bins.
or anything?
Seriously.
This is a new
Let's
low.
wrap this up. We can't be talking about
Right.
bins.
Okay, everybody, that has been the PlayStation Access
That's
podcast.
Bin. That is bin.
I really tried to avoid it. That has been the PlayStation Access podcast. We hope you think that it wasn't rubbish.
Very good.
Yeah. Right. So just like a double compartment, every 2 weeks we come back for more. So come back to us in 2 weeks' time for another podcast. Don't forget to leave a little hashtag podcast squad. I didn't say
Hashtag Popcorn Squad.
the bins have messed me up. Don't forget to leave a little hashtag Pod Squad,
Pod Squad.
comment if you'd like to be read out for a future comments of the week moment in a future podcast. But for now, I'm going to say bye. This is the end. Thank you very much. Good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.